So I chose to do my paper on the step of learning as a process. And I think that no matter how far someone is in life and how smart they may think they are, there's always room to learn more and there's always room to improve. I think that learning is an irreplaceable tool that you could take such advantage of if only you realize just how great learning is. CVCC has been a huge part of my life in the past 2 years. I always knew that I would come to college because that's just what you do. When you graduate high school, you go to college. But it was always just in this far off place in the back of my mind until spring of 2015 came around and my mom started pushing it on me. And I was like, yeah, okay, Mom, I'll sign up for classes sometime. And then I did, and I came to CVCC as a new student in fall of 2015. And I absolutely hated my classes. I felt so out of place because I had been homeschooled my whole entire life. And I never came to public school until I stepped foot into the Tarleton in August of 2015. And I felt so out of place, and I hated that semester. Until about halfway in, when I started realizing stuff about myself. I realized that I love school. Not the people part of school. I like the learning part of school. Like that feeling that you get whenever you finish a really long paper that you finally finished. It's like the burden goes right off your shoulders, and I love that feeling. I feel like I never would have realized this about myself if my mom hadn't pushed me to start taking classes here. And then I found out that to transfer to a 4-year university, I had to take two foreign language classes. And I started freaking out because foreign languages are hard to learn. And I started freaking out, and I started looking at the classes that we had, and I saw that Chinese was offered, and I wanted to take it. And my mom was really apprehensive about it, and she didn't think that I'd be able to do it, and everyone else was too, because, you know, Chinese is hard, because they got characters and stuff. And I basically wanted to just prove it to everyone that I could do it. So I put 110% into that class, and I love that class. That is by far my favorite class that I've ever taken at CVCC. And, like, I love Chinese. I love Chinese. I feel like Chinese will always be a part of my life now because I love it so much. And after taking that class, I knew that I wanted to do something in English for my major. I was just planning on being an English major and working at a publishing house, being an editor or something. But after taking the Chinese class, I realized that I still wanted to do something in English, but I was kind of thinking about maybe being a translator, a Chinese translator, because I was super good at Chinese and I loved it and I wanted to learn more, and I never wanted to stop learning because I loved it so much. And I told my mom that I wanted to be a translator, and she still didn't think I could do it. I was like, Mom, it's my life. I can do it. I know I can do it. And so, as the years have went on, I've realized that I went from wanting to be an editor to an English teacher. And I realized that I want to go to China and maybe live there. And I want to become fluent in Chinese. And I've just learned so much about myself in the past 2 years that it's honestly kind of scary, because 2 years ago, I never would have thought that in 2017, I would want to be an English translator and maybe teach English in China. And I just never thought that I would ever put myself out there, because I've always been a shy person. But I feel that taking those Chinese classes was such a pivotal moment in my education and in my life, to trying to figure out who I want to be. I feel like there was like such a pivotal moment. And I definitely think that learning is a process, because, like I said, 2 years ago, I never would have thought I would be where I am today. So learning is definitely a process.